Former President Trump picks Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate.
And here to break down the decision, Fox 5 political analyst John Dadian. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Okay, let's talk about who is J.D. Vance. So we know he's an Ohio senator, veteran Marine, critical of Trump, by the way, back in 2016. Let's talk about him.
He was actually one of those forever against Trump. A junior senator, so he's only been in, he just won the last election. So this is a little surprising, but not really. You're right, Marine veteran, first time a Marine has been on the ticket in either position. His wife from San Diego. So, he brings a lot to the table.
Yeah. Well, can you talk about it? Like you said, he was against Trump back in 2016, and now he's proud to say that he was against Trump.
And he's got a very easy answer. He says right straight out, he says, I was against him. He became president and did a great job. So now I think terrific job. So that's fine. I mean, if you look at it, that's not unusual in politics. Look at what Kamala Harris said about Biden during their primary, and then she gets picked as vice president. It's absolutely the norm more than the exception.
Yeah, it's a very good point that you make. It's usually the running trend that when you're running against somebody and they're your competitor, you have something to say, and then when you are on the same team, now everybody is singing the same tune.
George Bush Sr. ran against Reagan. He called it voodoo economics, and then he gets on the ticket and has to say, "Oh, it'll work."
But by the former president choosing him, all eyes were on this yesterday to see who that choice was going to be. There is a reason behind it. There is a message because he had a choice of who he was going to add to that ticket. So
well, that's absolutely true. But first of all, the first thing I'll say is the others that were being considered, the Republicans, in my opinion, have a good bench team. So all the ones that were being considered were all good. Yeah, some were older than the others. One little trivia for this is this candidate will be the second youngest president in history. And so clearly he's only 3 years older than the minimum requirement for president. Mm-hmm. So he is considered chronologically very young.
And talk about that, because 39 years old, do you think his youth played a factor into him being picked?
Minor factor.
Minor factor.
Okay. I mean, one of the jokes, which I thought was the silliest thing I ever heard a couple of weeks ago, was Trump didn't like him because he had a beard. So all these little minor factors. No, the major factors. For another major factor, Ohio's a swing state, so that doesn't hurt. You know how they say you would like to kind of balance the team. Having said all that, let me tell you the best quote I ever heard, and I'm going to give credit to Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton, won with his vice president, was geographically very close in the South. Al Gore was from Tennessee. And so they said, well, you're not doing the normal balancing the ticket. Bill Clinton had the best quote I ever heard. He says, the reason I'm picking him is because he might have to be president. And that should be the main, not the only criteria, but clearly that is the absolute main criteria.
If there is a time that we've seen that more than ever, it's right now.
Especially after this weekend.
Yeah,
especially. We hate to say it.
The former president appeared at the convention yesterday, and after the assassination attempt, many were looking forward to seeing him. He had the bandage on his ear. Were you surprised that he was there?
No, not at all. I predicted it, because on one hand, it's not unusual, because if you remember, up until 2016, when he won the first time, tradition was presidents did not get to the convention before the night that they're going to accept the nomination. 2016, remember, he did the big shadow and the 2001 dramatic music, etc. So first of all, there's a precedent for this particular gentleman, Donald Trump, but then the reaction that all the media is covering is that the audience went wild. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of San Diegans are there, of course, at the convention. I talked to a couple on the phone. They said that place just went wild. Women were crying. Men were just jubilant. So it was very, very smart, which Trump, he's a master. Come on. With The Apprentice show and everything, he's a master as far as being a showman.
But he seemed to almost be a little emotional himself. You could see his eyes welling up with tears.
Absolutely. Well, it's only been 48 hours since he almost died. And by all accounts, he could have easily died because it was a coincidence that the bullet, one gentleman did die, 2 others got hit. So that it's unfair to make a comparison, but one of the things they say about Ronald Reagan was after he survived his assassination attempt, he felt that it was divine intervention, and that's why he said the main thing that he had to do was end the Cold War and end the threat of the nuclear war. And I think Trump might be going through the same thing.
Sure.
He's saying something happened. There's some reason why I was saved.
Obviously this attempted assassination has changed the way the RNC looks this year.
And what's that?
I mean, just it's. Do you think that it has changed the tone? Do you anticipate that even his speech is going to change? I mean, he says it's going to change.
Again, from what we have public reports, he told all the other speakers for the first 3 days, do not change your thing. And I think he did that because he wants to change. He doesn't like the attention. So no, they've said publicly he's completely rewriting the speech. It will change. We're going to see what he says. But I think the one word you're going to hear several times in the speech is be unified, pull it together. Some people, won't give you my opinion, but some people were critical of President Biden's response. They said it didn't go far enough. It was a little too curt, although he did make a comment. I thought it was pretty cool that they talked on the phone with as much animosity as to have. So, no, clearly he's completely rewriting the speech, but the others aren't.
All right, John Dadian, we appreciate your time. Thank you. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.